Definitely.
I don't want to get off topic or anything, but
Yeah, sorry about that.
Terry, we talked about the full truths already. So what's next for you? Like, what do you like? What's the next thing you're gonna do?
So I'm thinking about a second book. To be honest with you,
Nice.
I liked Sustainable Excellence, but I think it's a book about success. How we can be successful. I think I'd like my next book to be about another word that begins with S, and that's significant. Success is what we do for us. Significance is what we do for other people. I think you can do both. That you be successful and significant. But I'm thinking that potentially I'd like to write a second book that focused more on significance and less on success. So that may happen. That may not happen. I don't know how much longer I have, but you know what? I got right now. So we'll keep muddling forward and see what happens.
There you go.
Yeah, definitely.
That's great.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, that's great. If writing that would be great. Definitely, you should do that. Everybody can check it out, and definitely. And let's not talk about that. Like you said, we here now, so we're gonna be here for a minute. So
that's what I always say. I don't worry about when I die. Way above my pay grade. I don't get
right.
money to worry about that.
Right, definitely. Real talk. That's a good way to look at it. Definitely. I never heard that. That's dope. That's dope.
So Terry, it seems like you've reinvented yourself. Like you worked for Wendy's, SWAT, corporate America, coach. You got a book out, public speaker. What's your proudest accomplishment so far?
Without a doubt, my 28-year marriage to my wife and our daughter.
Okay.
I mean. I know that sounds like the thing you're supposed to say, but it really is. Yeah. I mean, if my parents taught us anything, and they taught us a lot, it's the importance of family. And I mean, I saw my mom and dad so many times do, divide and conquer. Okay, I'm going with this kid to this game, and you're going with that kid to that game. And I remember my dad was very sick when I graduated from college. He was dying of cancer. And my youngest brother was in high school, and I was living at home helping my mom care for my dad, and my grandmother. And I remember one night, I mean, I'm working, I got my own job. I'm like, okay. I told my dad, I said, my brother had a basketball game. I'm like, I'm not going to the game. I'm going to go work out. And my dad looked at me like, what? No, you're not. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm an adult. No, I'm going to go work out after the game or after work. I'm going to go work out. You guys go to the game. Guess who ended up going to the game?
Yeah.
I mean, you support each other. I mean, you guys know. I mean, it's family. You take care of each other. You support each other, and that's what I did. And that was what's important and has always been incredibly important to me.
Nice. Wow. Married to the wife. Okay. Nice. Dope. Okay.
You hear that, hon? Okay.
Miss Tucker, you hear that? Right? Nice. All right, so fellas out there. No, I ain't gonna say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Fellas out there, you hear that? No, I don't know. I'm just
happy life. No.
Yeah, that's the saying, right?
Happy wife,
it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
I keep my wife, as long as she's happy, I'm good.
Yeah.
Well, and I always tell the story because if you look at my resume, my first two jobs were in corporate America, so to speak. Suit and tie kind of thing. And here I am. My wife and I have been married a couple years. We're living out in California, and one night at dinner, it's like, hon, I'd kind of like to be a policeman. I'd like to work nights and weekends and get shot at and do things. What do you think about that? That would be a lot of fun, don't you think? And she was incredibly supportive of me. And I got out of law enforcement because she lost her job. I was a policeman in Cincinnati, Ohio, and she lost her job. And we moved to Texas. And so that was my way of supporting her. And I mean, I knew a lot of policemen that had been policemen for 35, 40 years, and their identity was tied to that gun and that badge. And as much as, I loved being a policeman, it wasn't who I was. And I knew I could do something else. And so, I took my SWAT training and my education and things like that and started my own business doing, consulting with schools for security.
Nice.
That's cool.
That's awesome. Nice. Okay,
Cincy,
yeah.
Huh? So, that was Ohio. The Wendy's you worked at, that was in Columbus?
Yeah, it was in Dublin. It's a suburb of Columbus.
I lived out there for 5 years. Yeah, I used to live in Westerville.
Really? Yeah. Okay. We lived in Worthington.
Yep, know where that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. I went out there to visit Zoe one time. And it was pretty cool out there. Where did we go to? That downtown? It was like a small downtown.
Yeah. We went on a high street, something like that. Yeah. I like Columbus. It's decent. It's nice.
Columbus is a nice town for a state capital that really does all they've got. Not all they've got, but I mean, Ohio State is pretty much it. I mean, unless you're a hockey fan and you like the Blue Jackets, I mean, they don't have any professional sports. Cleveland and Cincinnati have the professional teams, but yeah, Columbus was a nice town.
It was crazy because being from Chicago, we got all these sports and stuff. So when OSU would play, I'm talking the city was shut down. Like it was.
People live and die.
Everywhere. A city shut down. Like
Scarlet and Gray. People bleed.
Scarlet and Gray. Yeah, there you go.
They shut down.
Shut down.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You put 104,000. I think the game against Oregon this weekend, they had 104,000 people in the stadium.
Yeah.
They lost too, right?
They lost.
They lost. Right. They lost. That was an upset.
Oregon came and spanked them.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to lose the game when you have 600 yards of offense. You still lose the game.
They defenses
don't have defense. Yeah.
Yeah, atrocious. Man, OSU. Okay. Yep. Okay, that's what's up. So we kind of talked about it. So you've helped others through your journey, and you mentioned two people. You mentioned the two individuals that you coached, that you gave them the 10 purpose. Your 10 principles. Yep. But is there a experience or story or a person that you have helped out that sticks with you, just like something that sticks with you that you always remember, or just like just a person or a story or experience that outside of your story and everything that you're going through, but something that sticks with you, internally or anything like that?
I mean, I could probably spend the next 4 hours, and I know you guys don't want me to do that, so I'll just narrow it down to one story. When I was in high school, I was recruited by Coach K when he was in Army. And I obviously didn't go to Army, but, he was in our living room and, the whole 9 yards. So our daughter is born. I'm a policeman. Duke plays Connecticut for the national championship. Duke loses. I can't remember what year this was, 98, 99, 90, something like that. And I recorded it because I was working nights. So I recorded the game and came home, and I mean, our daughter was born in March, and it didn't get any better than that. I got my daughter on my arm here, and I got
March
a clicker
Madness
in this hand, and we're watching the games. It's like, I could have died right there. It'd been perfect.
Right.
So I went down after dinner one night when I was off and watched the game with our daughter. I mean, she was 2 or 3 years old, and at the end of the they play the One Shining Moment theme at the end of the NCAA tournament. And Krzyzewski is hugging one of his players, William Avery. And the next night at dinner, our daughter's like, "Dad, can we go watch the hug? Can we go watch the hug?" I'm like, "What? Can we go watch the hug?" And she's like, "Yeah, the hug." And it took a while to figure out what it was, and this went on for like a week after dinner every night. "Can we go watch the hug?" Didn't want to watch the game, want to watch the hug. Yeah. And so it'd been 20 years since I talked to Krzyzewski or anything. I ended up sitting down and writing him a letter and letting him know how what happened had an impact on our daughter. Never, he's Coach K. I mean, 2 weeks later, I get a handwritten note from him thanking me for writing him, talking about how close he gets to his players and stuff like that. and all I could take away was that was just pure class. That's all, that was class. And I was like, I want to be like that. I want to be that kind of person that, I haven't talked to you in 20 years, but you reach out to me, I'm going to respond. I'm not too big or too good to be able to do that. So that's just a story that came to mind when you asked that question.
Nice, Coach K. Nah, that's big time. Like, come on, man. Yeah.
Well, he wasn't Coach K when he was at Army.
Right.
He hadn't gotten to the Coach K, just like Jordan hadn't gotten to the GOAT status. When he was his freshman year. So.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's an amazing story. That's amazing that he reached out to you about your daughter and everything, and a handwritten note.
Yeah, I mean, not something typed up that he signed or anything like that. It's just something that he sat down and wrote it himself. It was, it was great. Still have it.
That's cool.
Man, you got to frame it, put it on the wall.
Yeah. I mean, I have every single letter that he sent me when he was recruiting me in college, when he was at Army. So
that's crazy.
It was cool. And I also have, and you guys might like this, I also have a signed letter. I was recruited by, and I'm almost ashamed to admit this, Dick Vitale.
Oh, really?
Shake and bake in the paint, baby.
Yeah.
He was at the head coach at the University of Detroit. Yeah.
Dick Vitale.
Dickie V.
He's still going too.
He is.
Yeah, he's still
90 years old. So.
He's 90?
No, I don't.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Might as well be.
Right. Wow, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Let me ask you, who's your favorite basketball player all time?
Bill Walton.
Bill Walton.
I'll tell you a quick story. So when I had my own room when I was in 8th grade in high school, and I had twin beds, and I literally would take the Sports Illustrateds, that had Walton in it and UCLA, and I would lay them out on the bed that I didn't sleep in. And every night before practice or a game, I would lay out all my, my jock, my shorts, my, socks, my warm up, everything on those photos, and then get up the next morning and pack my bag and off to practice I went. It was almost like I was trying to get, the mojo, to come out of the pictures and, get into my uniform. But yeah, Bill Walton was, I loved him in college.
Yeah. Nice.
Kind of goofy now, but I loved him.
I see.
So Bill Walton was he was your favorite. What team did you like him on?
UCLA.
Celtics, Clippers.
Yeah, I liked him on the Celtics.
Okay.
When he was in the pros, I liked him on the Celtics, and I've listened to some documentaries on ESPN about how he kind of fired the Celtics up and got him another championship just by being Bill Walton. So the guy's a proven winner. So I'll tell you, one of the best books I ever read was when I was in 8th grade, and it was his coach's, John Wooden's biography. They Call Me Coach, and and there's a story in there about Walton. Wooden had a hair standard. You can't have your hair, below your ears and stuff like that. And Walton was an All-American. And he walked in one day and said, "Coach, I'm not cutting my hair." Coach Wooden was like, "Well, Bill, I hope you enjoy the game from the stands." And it's like, I'll call your bluff. I'll call your bluff. So.
Yeah.
Wow, Bill Walton.
Yep.
Yeah, I still see him on. He's still calling games, like college games sometimes.
Yeah, most of he does the West Coast games,
West Coast,
like that,
Gonzaga and all that. Yeah.
Arizona.
Yep.
Yeah, Arizona.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I did play against Isiah Thomas in high school. We were in the same conference.
Zeke. Wow. Zeke. That's big time.
He
played against Jordan too, though. He played Jordan too.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that was one great thing about being in Chicago. The basketball, the competition was amazing. I mean, all kinds of people that went on and played at Iowa, played it was just great.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, we always ask. So we're called Recipe for Intentionality. And we always ask, what's your recipe to success? So what's your recipe going after success? Is it like different ingredients? We say, like, is it 20 pounds of confidence and infinite amount of God, or like what ingredients, would you say is your recipe, to success, and just your recipe for controlling your mind and just staying strong?
I think certainly my 3 truths, or my 4 truths, and my, the 3 F's: faith, family, and friends. And I'll give you the best definition of success that I've ever heard. And it goes back to John Wooden, who, coached at UCLA. And I think it's, he won 7 national championships in a row. I mean, it's almost impossible to win 2 in a row now. The parity is so good. But I mean, the guy was probably known more for his pyramid of success, and it was building blocks that he felt were important to, for people to learn and master to be successful. And I'll give you his definition of success. And it's this: success is peace of mind, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction in knowing that you did the best to become the best that you're capable of becoming. And here's one of the most successful coaches of all time. Not once in there does it mention winning. It's peace of mind, knowing you did the best to become the best you're capable of becoming. We're not all born with the same gifts and talents, but we all have the ability to become the best person that we're capable of becoming.
We can go the best if you just fuck with me. I can keep you with the best. I'm gonna keep you. I can keep you with the best if you just fuck with me. I can keep you with the best. I'm gonna treat you. I can keep you with the best. Eating good, shopping sprees. I can keep you with the best. Give you what you want. I can keep you with the best if you just fuck with me. I can keep you with the best. I'm that nigga.